Hello, my dear friends, it's Danny, and I am so excited to be here with you today. Happy New Year's to you. I'm really eager to share this new idea that I've been playing with around meal prep. I call it 6 to Start. This is what I've been doing to help keep meal prep really easy, really doable, and not overwhelming for myself and for my family. And basically what I do is I pick 6 foods/ingredients to pre-prep ahead of time on the weekend to use as Head Start ingredients throughout the week. And the way I keep it mentally organized is I approach it like this. I choose 2 dishes that are rich in protein, 2 that are veggie based, 1 good quality carbohydrate, and then either a sweet treat or a smart start to kind of round the whole menu off. So for instance, here's what I'm gonna be showing you how to make today. For the protein dishes, I'm making my turkey and veggie chili along with some hard-boiled eggs. Then for my veggies, I've got popcorn broccoli and my beloved crudite. You all know how much I love fresh chopped veggies in the fridge for the week. Then for the quality carbohydrate, we've got a big old pot of perfectly cooked brown rice. And for the smart start, I've got my chia pudding, which could also be a sweet treat because I don't know if you've ever tried it, but chia pudding can make a rather lovely dessert. Now I'm gonna leave the links for all of these recipes down in the description box below. Plus I'm gonna leave a shopping list should you wanna make this exact menu. And remember, if you want to connect throughout the week, let's use the hashtag 6 to Start so that we can all stay connected and show each other what we're making. Okay, so to get started, I've got my turkey and veggie chili. This is not a new recipe, but it's one of my favorites, and I love that it's a good quality dish that's packed with veggies as well. So I've got a nice big pot heating up over a medium heat. Into that, I'm adding a little bit of olive oil. Once the oil is hot, I'm gonna add in a small chopped onion along with a pinch of salt. Let that cook until the onion is beginning to look translucent. It's also gonna be very fragrant at this point. And then I'm gonna add in some chopped bell pepper and a little bit of chopped garlic. Give that a stir. I'll let it go for another 3 to 5 minutes. Once the peppers have softened up a bit, I'm gonna push all the veggies over to the side, and then I'm adding in some lean ground turkey. Now this could also be ground chicken, it could be ground beef, it could be ground bison. You could even do veggie crumbles here. So use what you have and use what you love. This recipe is super flexible. Then I'm adding in my spices. I've got some chili powder, a little bit of ground cumin, which is nice and smoky, a bit of oregano, and then another hit of salt, and some black pepper. I'm gently gonna break the meat into small pieces. Just keep working it as it starts to cook. And then once it's down into little pieces like this, I'm just gonna mix the veggies back into the mix, get all of the veggies and the meat and the spices well incorporated. And then just let that go until all the pink has cooked out of the turkey. And then I'm adding in 1 can of kidney beans. You can of course use any bean you like or have on hand. A can of fire roasted diced tomatoes, and 3 cups of low sodium chicken broth. I'm gonna crank the heat up to high, bring everything to a boil. Then once I've got that boil, in go my veggies. I've got 2 cups of chopped up zucchini and some fresh chopped up kale as well. Then I'll reduce that heat down to a low and just let this simmer for about 20 minutes or so, or until all the veggies have become nice and tender and the chili has thickened. Now this is gonna make a nice hearty chili. If you want it to be a little bit thinner, you could add a little extra broth or just a little bit of water. Once that has cooled down to room temperature, I just transfer it into airtight containers. Now, I like to store everything family style, but if you prefer, you could of course break this down into individual containers as well. This chili is great packed into your kids' lunch boxes. It's a nice warm lunch for yourself to bring to work. It's also delicious as a dinner option, and you can certainly mix it up. Put it on top of a salad, enjoy it with some spaghetti squash, mix in some brown rice, maybe make a burrito. There are so many options. Now for my hard-boiled eggs, I have a method that I've been using for years. Here's what I do. You wanna grab a pot and you wanna put as many eggs as you can to create a single layer in the bottom of the pot so that the eggs are nice and snug, but not piled on top of each other. Then I just add some water to the pot. You wanna come about 1 inch over the eggs, crank your heat up to high and let that come to a boil. Once you've got a full rolling boil, pop on a lid, shut off the heat, and put your timer on for 9 minutes. After the 9 minutes, you just drain the eggs out. I drop them right into an ice bath. What the ice bath does is it kind of shocks the eggs. So number 1, it stops them from cooking. And number 2, it makes the egg kind of pull away from the shell, which also makes them easy peelers. Now, of course, you could store them with the shell on, but you will save yourself a lot more time throughout the week if you just peel them now. So I like to peel them out of the shells, get them into my airtight container, and these eggs are ready to go. Now again, super versatile. You can enjoy them as is. You can make an easy egg salad. You could slice them and put them on top of toast. Sometimes I like to chop them up with some avocado and tomato and make a really simple salad. My point is, you have lots of different options. There are many roads to travel to enjoying your hard-boiled eggs. Moving on to our veggies. The first veggie I'm starting with is my popcorn broccoli. This has been a family favorite in our house for years. So I've got the florets from one big head of broccoli here. Now for this recipe, really all you need are the crowns of the broccoli, but should you have the stems attached, you can save those and make my broccoli stem soup. So I will leave that link for you down in the description box below. Once you've got all the florets ready to go, get them in a nice big bowl. Make sure after you wash them that they are bone dry. Otherwise, they're gonna end up steaming in the oven, and that's not what we want. We want them to get nice crispy edges. So to this, I'm just adding a little bit of olive oil and then some kosher salt, black pepper, garlic powder, and Parmesan cheese. Toss everything together, and then I'm gonna transfer this onto a baking sheet that has been coated with a little bit of cooking spray. And then make sure that they are spread out. You don't want them to be overcrowded. So make sure that nobody's touching. If they seem to be overcrowded, just do it on 2 pans. Pop this whole thing into a 400-degree oven for 15 minutes, pull them out, flip them around a bit, and then back in they go for 10 minutes. Now, when they are done, you're gonna see that they have these golden crispy edges on the outside, and they're nice and tender on the inside. They are absolutely delicious. They taste great on their own. They're delicious added to some scrambled eggs. You can put them on top of a salad or just pull them out as a quick side dish. I also love having raw vegetables on hand. We call this the crudite. We pick different veggies each week and just chop them ahead of time and have them ready to go. It's very simple, but you will see it's really helpful. You can pull these vegetables out. You could add them to chicken salad, to tuna salad. You could use them as a head start ingredient for just a fresh chopped salad. You could give them a quick steam. You're gonna see that you're just a lot more likely to eat your vegetables when they're in there ready to go. So here's what we've got today. I line the bottom of an airtight container with the paper towel to absorb any extra moisture. And then I wash and dry my veggies, and I'm cutting up here today some carrots, some celery, and some radish. Now you can of course pick and choose your favorite vegetables and change them week to week, maybe mirror what's ever in season, but I totally encourage you to have them ready to go. It makes all the difference in the world. Now for our good quality carbohydrate, I'm making some perfectly cooked brown rice. Here is what I find works for me. I have a 2.5 quart pot, in case you're curious what size the pot is. If you have a different shaped pot or a different size pot, it is going to affect the cooking times a little, so you're just gonna keep an eye on it. But here's the general rule of thumb. Add 4.5 cups of water along with 1 teaspoon of kosher salt to the pot, then bring that up to a boil. Then I'm adding in 2 cups of dry brown rice, which I've rinsed off already. Pop on my lid and reduce that down to a simmer. Set the timer for 30 minutes and then begin to check your rice after the 30 minutes. It usually takes somewhere between 30 and 45 minutes. Once you see that all the water has been absorbed, shut your heat off and just let it sit on the stove for another 10 or 15 minutes. Then when you pop the lid off, you're gonna see it's nice and light and fluffy. And just like everything else we're making today, you want to let it cool down to room temperature and then transfer it into airtight containers, and this will happily last in your fridge for the week. And then our final 6 to start dish for the week is my chia pudding. Now I've showed you guys how to make chia pudding before, and I've shared tons of different flavor options, which I will link to down in the description box below. But today we're just gonna stick to the classic chia pudding recipe. These are so great for breakfast, and I also find they make a lovely sweet treat when you're in the mood for some dessert. So first you're gonna decide how many you want to make, and for each serving you want to pull out a mason jar. I like using these little 4-ounce wide mouth mason jars to make the chia pudding, and into each jar goes 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, doesn't matter if they're black or white, a 1/2 cup of unsweetened almond milk, and then 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. Give that a stir, pop on the lid, and then I like to give them a good shake as well. Then I just pop these into the fridge overnight or for a minimum of 4 hours. And when you're ready to enjoy them, you're gonna see that they thicken up and it's kind of like a loose pudding. From here, you could put anything on top that you enjoy. You could do nuts, you could do fresh fruit, you could do nut butter. I mean, the options are truly endless. And like I mentioned before, I'm gonna link down below to a whole bunch of flavor options if you wanted to play around with them as well. So my friends, that is it. I find having these 6 foods, slashed ingredients, prepped and ready to go really keeps our family meals feeling fresh and flexible and healthy and delicious all week long. Plus, taking this 6 to start approach makes things feel very doable and not overwhelming for me. So I'm super excited to hear what you all think about it. Make sure that you come on down to the comments below and let me know. And don't forget, if you try any of these recipes or the entire menu, let's use the hashtag 6 to start to stay connected all throughout the week. And remember, you've got all of the links for the recipes down in the description box below, along with a shopping list should you want to do this whole entire menu. And it's New Year's, so if you haven't already, would you please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share this video/channel with anybody else you know who wants to make healthy eating easy. Here's to a feeling fabulous 2019. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Danny Spees, and I will see you back here soon with some more clean and deliciousness. Cheers! So I just said I'm super excited. I'm super stoked because I have this so I'm really eager to share this new idea I have with you guys. 1/3 cup of almond milk, or any milk that 1/3 cup? Let me just check that.